Good morning and welcome to WMS News. The Junior Beta Club Academic Convention is on the 23rd and 24th of this month at Opryland Hotel. If you are going on this trip, do not forget your money and 9 service hours are due by November 16th.
We now go to our Words of Wisdom segment with Ms. Summers.
Good morning, WMS. Today's words of wisdom come from the great Thomas Edison. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is to always try just one more time. So no matter the obstacles you face, press on and keep trying. Persistence always pays off in the end. Have a great day.
Thank you for those words, Ms. Summers. Students, Westmoreland Middle School is starting a drum club. If you are interested, please see Ms. Hickey to pick up a form.
At this time, we'll go to sports with Hunter and Ethan.
Thanks, Callie and Nathan. This past week has been a busy one for our basketball teams and cheerleaders. Last Thursday, we hosted the James E. Basil Patriots from Scottsville for our first game of the season.
Our girls' junior varsity squad won a close one, 22-20. Jordan Vandy and Ginger Johns led the Lady Eagles with 6 points each.
Our boys' junior varsity lost a tough one by a final score of 17-39. Riker Cook and Colin Castile paced the Eagles with 6 points each.
The good times continued for our girls on this night as the varsity team dominated the Lady Patriots. The Lady Eagles won big, 48-25. Allison Gray was the top scorer on the night with 10 points.
Unfortunately, our WMS Eagles suffered a defeat to the Patriots. We lost this game 16-43. Kirby Bickerton led your Eagles with 10 points.
On Monday night, our teams opened Cumberland Rim Conference play by hosting the Jim B. Satterfield Yellow Jackets from Hartsville.
Our boys played a hard-fought junior varsity contest. When the final horn sounded, the game ended in a tie with a final score of 23-23. Curtis Lehughes paced your Eagles in the game with a total of 10 points.
Our Lady Eagles put another solid effort and defeated the Lady Yellow Jackets by a score of 43-26. Avery Morris led your girls with a total of 12 points.
Our boys put up a good fight against the Yellow Jackets, but fell by a final score of 24-40. Kirby Bickerton was the leading scorer on the night for our Eagles with 13 points.
On Tuesday night, we were at home once again hosting the teams from White House Heritage. This turned out to be a very eventful and successful night for us.
The girls' game was a nail-biter, with your Lady Eagles making a strong fourth quarter comeback and eventually winning the overtime by a final score of 29-25. Once again, Avery Morris led the Lady Eagles with 8 points on the night.
Your Eagles put in a strong effort as they soundly defeated the Patriots 40-21. Kirby Bickerton had the hot hand once again for your Eagles, pouring in 22 points on the night.
At this point, our girls have 3-0 overall record and 1-0 conference record. Our boys have 1-2 overall record and 0-1 conference record.
We want to give a big shout out to our cheerleaders. You gals have done an outstanding job keeping everyone motivated and full of spirit.
Our girls' squads will be back in action on Monday night at James E. Basil Middle School in Scottsville.
Our girls and boys varsity teams will take the court at Salina on Thursday.
We want to wish our teams the best of luck. Bring us back some more wins.
That is all for the sports this week.
Now back to more news.
Thanks, guys. Our WMS academic team is continuing practice to prepare for their next competition on Tuesday, November 17th.
We now go to our newest addition to the WMS broadcast team, Chris, for this weekend's weather.
Thanks, guys. The weather for today will be a high of 70 and a low of 49 with an 80% chance of rain, so you might need to take an umbrella with you. The weather for Saturday will be a high of 60 and a low of 39 with a 10% chance of rain. The weather for Sunday will be a high of 59 and a low of 42 with a 0% chance of rain. It looks like the weekend will be very cold, so you may need to wear a jacket just in case. That's all for this weekend's weather. Now back to more news.
Thank you, Chris. At this time, we would like to recognize individuals celebrating birthdays from November the 1st to November the 12th. We only have one faculty birthday, that being our best guidance counselor, Mr. Walker.
Our 6th graders celebrating birthdays are Blake Turley and Octavia Rolfe.
8th graders celebrating birthdays include Kylie Kemper, Raul Velasco, Bishop Trout, and Sierra Fellows.
Last but certainly not least, we want to wish our fellow 7th graders Casey Humphrey, Curtis Lakehue, and Lewis Flick the best on their special day.
Happy birthday, y'all.
We now go to Grayson for this week's Dates in History.
This week in Dates in History, we have some pretty interesting facts that you might want to know. On November 3rd, 2005, Walt Disney Pictures released Chicken Little. It was the first Disney film completely created with computer animation. The sky is falling! Okay, sorry, just had to say that. On November 4th, 2001, the movie Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone had its world premiere in London. And on November 6, 1861, the inventor of basketball, James Naismith, was born. Well, that's all the interesting facts for this week. Now we go back to Callie and Nathan for more news.
Thank you for that report, Grayson. We now go to Tricky Trivia with the one and only Jayla.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Last week we had 2 questions, and they were, what is a mummy's favorite genre of music? The genre is rap. A man was found dead in a field with an unopened package. What was in the package? The package was a parachute. This week's questions are based off What Am I questions. What place begins with a P and ends with an E and has many letters? You can do it in vessels for getting you clean. You can do it to fabric to stop being seen. You're doing it when you've come up short. You've done it too when you've equaled in sport. This may sound like there should be images, but then you can do all these things without pencil or pen. What is the word? The answers will be revealed next week. Now back to the news.
Thanks, Jayla. Hey, Kelly, what are you doing? We are filming here, you know.
I'm sorry, I was just reading this book that I can't seem to put down. That's why I'm so glad that tomorrow is school-wide reading day. Students, do not forget to take a book with you to your RTI or exploratory class today.
Speaking of reading, we now go back to Jacob. We now go to Jacob for this week's Book of the Week.
Welcome. The book we are reviewing this week is the first in its series, The Spiderwick Chronicles. It's the field guide. It is about the Grace family getting used to their new house. Jared Grace ends up finding an old secret field guide in the attic. They later come to find that many creatures in the field guide live right in their woods. Later they see one in the house. Will the Grace family get rid of the creatures? What mysteries will the field guide lead to? Find out by reading this book along with the rest of the series. You can find them in our school library. Now back to Callie and Nathan for more news.
Thank you, Jacob.
That's all for this time, folks. Thanks for watching, and remember,
Stay classy, Westmoreland.